From Barefoot in Portmore to Drake's Inner Circle, how did Popcaan defy poverty, silence his doubters, and build an empire the world still can't define? This isn't just a dancehall story. It's pain, purpose, and power on full display. Fame didn't shape him. Struggle did. Stay to the end, because what Popcaan represents can't be streamed. It has to be felt. Born on July 19, 1988, in the lush parish of St. Thomas, Andre's world would never be one of ease. Raised in the gritty, resilient community of Portmore, a cradle of musical legends, he was not born into privilege, but into promise. As the world slept, a young Andre would often be found penning verses by candlelight, his mind ablaze with ambition, and his soul lit by the sounds that fill the Jamaican air. Life wasn't kind, not in the beginning. His parents weren't always present, and so the responsibility of shaping him fell into the calloused yet gentle hands of his grandparents. These were the people who instilled in him values that would keep him grounded even when the world began to chant his name. The streets of Portmore could swallow a man whole, but Andre had a fire that could not be extinguished. He didn't just want to survive, he wanted to transcend. And he knew, deep in his chest, that music would be his salvation. It wasn't long before he was grabbing microphones at local parties and school competitions, spitting raw, unfiltered lyrics that carried the weight of his upbringing. Those early performances, often in front of unimpressed, skeptical crowds, were the crucible in which Popcaan was forged. Then came the moment that would alter his trajectory forever. In 2007, after delivering a performance that cracked through the crowd's indifference like thunder through still air, Andre caught the attention of none other than Adidja Azine Palmer, known to the world as Vybz Kartel. It was more than an encounter. It was a passing of the torch. Vybz Kartel, the reigning king of dancehall, saw something rare in this youth: hunger, talent, unrelenting spirit. He didn't hesitate to pull him into the Gaza Empire, a move that would introduce him to firestorm of the dancehall industry and rename him Popcaan. It wasn't just a new name, it was a rebirth. Popcaan, under the tutelage of Vybz Kartel, began to sharpen his artistry like a blade against stone. The boy from Portmore was now standing beside giants, yet he didn't flinch. In 2010, his breakout hit Clarks, a collaboration with Vybz Kartel and Gaza Slim, catapulted him into the spotlight. It wasn't just a song, it was a movement. The chorus lit up the streets of Kingston, the clubs of London, the dorms of Toronto. Suddenly, Popcaan was more than just a protege. He was a phenomenon. The momentum surged. Only Man She Want, Party Shot, Unruly Rave. Each track became an anthem. His voice, uniquely nasal, strangely melodic, commanding and boyish all at once, cut to the noise like a blade. Fans didn't just listen, they followed. The Unruly boss, as he began to call himself, was forming not just a fan base, but a culture. Yet, the world wanted more. The Caribbean had birthed him, but global stages beckoned. In 2014, he released his debut album titled Where We Come From, a poignant title that paid homage to his roots while embracing his leap into the international arena. This wasn't just another dancehall album. It was a bridge, a blend of reggae consciousness, hip-hop edge, and electronic polish that stunned critics and fans alike. Signed to Mixed Back Records, Popcaan had gone from local sensation to global ambassador of dancehall. And then came the co-signs that would further cement his legacy. Drake, the Canadian rap titan, became not just a collaborator but a close friend and supporter. From Controlla to Twist and Turn, their musical chemistry introduced Popcaan to audiences who had never stepped foot in the Caribbean. With Jamie XX, Gorillaz, Burna Boy, and Davido also joining the list of collaborations, Popcaan was no longer just Jamaica's treasure, he was the world's. Despite the fame, the Unruly boss never severed his ties to Portmore. His music, while modern and worldly, remained soaked in patois, pulsing with island energy and thick with cultural references. And when he sings about struggle, celebration, or love, it feels like the voice of someone who has seen both the gutter and the skyline. Even as his professional career flourished, whispers about his personal life often followed him like shadows. Popcaan never paraded his relationships before flashing lights, but that only made the curiosity grow. One name that surfaced frequently in those whispers was Cecile Claudine Charlton, better known as Cecile, a powerhouse in her own right. The Jamaican singer and dancehall star was rumored to share more than just music with Popcaan. The tabloids had a field day, spinning tales from fleeting glances and shared stages. But Popcaan remained silent, always calculated, never confirming nor denying. Then came the more recent whispers, louder and far more sensational. Tony N. Singh, the radiant beauty who held the Miss World 2019 crown and represented Jamaica with elegance, began to appear more frequently in Popcaan's narrative. When they were seen together in 2022, eyebrows lifted when he dropped Next to Me, featuring Tony N herself. Fans were sure the rumors had turned real. The video played like confession. But again, neither party gave the media the closure it wanted. And maybe that's the brilliance of Popcaan. He reveals just enough to keep you listening, but never too much to steal the mystery. Yet love, music, and fame are only fragments of the unruly mosaic. There's another side to Popcaan, one less flashy, more grounded, and deeply human. When success wrapped itself around him like silk, he didn't just build fences around his mansion. He opened doors for his community. From sponsoring back-to-school drives to launching the Popcaan Care Foundation, Andre Hugh Sutherland made it clear that he wasn't going to enjoy his blessings alone. He put his money where his roots were, into the soil of Portmore. He donated supplies to schools, funded scholarships, revived playgrounds. He sponsored local football teams, not for clout, but because he understood what dreams look like when you have no platform to stand on. The Unruly Fest, his annual music festival, became more than a stage. It became a movement, a place where rising talents could shine and communities could gather not just to celebrate Popcaan, but to believe in the possibility of becoming more. And when the pandemic ravaged communities, Popcaan didn't stay silent. He stepped in, providing aid, resources, and even reaching across oceans to support causes in Africa and throughout the Caribbean. He was no longer just a dancehall artist. He was a symbol of what Jamaican excellence could look like when it wore a human face. The success story found its physical manifestation in the Unruly estate, tucked away in the green embrace of Jamaica's hills. The property is part mansion, part sanctuary. A recording studio hums with new sounds. Panoramic views stretch toward the horizon, and Popcaan himself moves through it like a man who's built not just a house, but a legacy. This is not a hideaway. This is a headquarters, a command center for everything unruly. But the artist's vision refuses to be confined by borders, musical or otherwise. Recently, Popcaan has expanded his unruly empire into fashion, lifestyle, and even acting, with appearances in films like The Intent 2. The Come Up, he is slowly but surely becoming a cinematic presence, reminding the world that storytelling runs in his veins no matter the medium. He's also ventured into branding, with Unruly-themed merchandise flying off digital shelves, worn by fans who see in Popcaan not just an artist but a movement. The world has shifted, yet Popcaan's relevance remains ironclad. In an age where artists rise and fall like social media trends, Andre Hugh Sutherland has sustained a career by being many things at once. Raw and refined, rebellious and reflective, street-hardened and spiritually aware. His latest album, Great Is He, is not just another collection of tracks. It is a thesis, a declaration that he isn't done evolving, that the heights already reached are merely steps towards something even greater. There's a moment in every icon's life when they must confront the question, what now? For Popcaan, the answer has never been uncertain. He looks to the future with the same unshakable belief he held as a barefoot boy in Portmore. His story is still being written, still taking shape in the beats he creates, the lives he changes, the barriers he breaks. It's easy to find Andre Hugh Sutherland by his accolades, multi-platinum hits, sold-out tours, viral videos. But to truly understand him, you must see the invisible lines that tie him to his homeland, to his people, and to the fire that forged him. You must listen, not just to his songs, but to the silence in between, the parts he does not sing but lives. This is not just a documentary about a dancehall artist. This is a chronicle of resistance, rise, and relentless pursuit. From a boy who once watched the world from behind zinc fences, to a man who now shapes culture with every lyric and move. Popcaan's legacy is etched into the soul of Jamaica and projected onto the world stage. The music will fade, the lights will dim, but the name Andre Hugh Sutherland will echo long after the last beat drops. And somewhere in Portmore, another child with a notebook and a dream will know it's possible, because the unruly boss made it so. Now that you've seen the rise, the fight, the fire, what part of Popcaan's story stayed with you? Was it the loyalty to his roots, the whispers around his love life, or the way he turned pain into prophecy? Is Popcaan just an artist, or the voice of a generation that refuses to fold? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're listening. And if this journey moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of your own, subscribe now, because stories like this aren't just told. They're lived,